This is Bob Dylan. Bob Dylan. I'm turning 80 in a short time, about 10 days, 11 days. And I never thought I'd hit 80. I never really thought about it before.
This is so stupid. The thing is, Rybo, that looks like Rybo's ready to have a rang.
Oh man,
that actually is what you used to wear in the 70s, Rybo. The tank top like that.
It's true. Mark Hamill and Stuart Copeland were my fashion plates right there.
Great call. Apparently, I'm Jackie Gleason, and Speewee's that guy. It looks like Speewee and Fargo.
No kidding. That's about as much time as I had.
Yeah.
You wish.
Yeah. I had my own trailer that day with my name on it and everything. Oh, I got hearts running. That's for the family. That's for the people.
We love we heart the family. Welcome to the Winnipeggers. Once again, we call him the great Rod Stickler. We should call him the fucking lunatic Rod Stickler with a great graphic to start off there. Number 45. And we're going to talk about pro wrestling and our early memories of pro wrestling. This show is written by, I think, by all of us, maybe like a co-write or something, maybe. Yeah,
co-writes.
Yeah. Great stuff last week, guys. We appreciate you joining us. We had a great show talking about VPW, and it's going to be another great one tonight. Lots of great feedback from the family. The family has just been off the charts. Amazing.
Mamma mia's.
Defendress says, I love that video from the Tampa Downs. Awesome. Must have been a lot of fun. Okay, cool. Thanks.
That was wild.
Ian Alex K says, amazing. Another hilarious episode. Great work, guys. These are all from the YouTube channel. And Jay DeRocher says, amazing show. Still impressing me 20 years later. Don't think we've been on for 20 years, Jay. You might be thinking of another show.
But we'll take it. We'll take the compliment. Thank you very much.
We'll take any comments. We haven't got a lot of great fan mail lately. It's been kind of a little bit sparse, to be honest with you guys. So if you guys have any fan mail you've been holding off on, please send it to us because we got really nothing much going on here. I'm going to try and find – look at this. I love the show. Love the shirt. Thanks, guys. I had a blast. That was not the one I was looking for. But it's nice to hear John Belinda. Love the show. Love the shirt. I think I read that last time. But you're getting 2 for 1 on that one, brother. Dave's moving his laundry out of the way or something.
Shirt got caught in the chair.
Oh, geez. Michelle Worrell says, I'm celebrating my new job, watching the Winnipeggers. My Thursday nights aren't complete until I get to see you guys. Thank you for all the fun each week. You guys are the best.
Of course, you guys are the best.
That's so nice. The Winnipegger shirt got caught in the bottom of my chair, and no tear. And I'm nothing. I'm 205 pounds, 210, 215 even. Sometimes.
Way off.
Way off. Yeah, way off. 32-inch waist, and these are on for sale all over the place right now. No tear. So this is like a bulletproof shirt.
That actually put a dent in your chair. I heard the dent from that.
I think you were gonna fall over in your chair, and the shirt saved you. It actually stopped the chair from falling over.
It's been said the shirt's been saving people's lives, and I think they're between $20 and $40, and they're online, and you can find these, and people are wearing them, and it really is. It's very positive to wear one. It's a real cool thing to wear one. It's a lot cooler than using terminology like rad or noise or all this garbage that people are just trying to be cool with. You just wear a shirt like this, you say it all. So this is nice, and it was under my chair. And I mean, I don't know if you can see that, but that's nothing. That's just a little bit of dust.
Not a damn thing.
And the chair is split in half. So there you go.
I got it. Full disclosure, guys. I actually was attacked by a gang this week, and they were coming after me. They had knives. So they had some pepper spray. Not good. And as they were coming after me, the shirt literally swooped off my body and went into the face of the attacker. There's 3 of them, and just went like womp, womp, womp. Each attacker collapsed to their death, and then the shirt came and floated back onto my body, which was amazing. So
that is cool. Yeah. I was on a plane the other day, actually.
Yeah,
and they were going through the the safety and stuff like that, and they said in the case of a water landing, your Winnipegger shirt becomes a flotation device.
Oh, nice.
Right there, yeah.
Nice.
Noise.
It's true.
That's rad.
Yeah, I made love to my Winnipegger shirt. Long story. All right.
All right, Matt Stater.
If you order one from us, we'll send you a fresh one. We won't send you that one.
This is about the sports episode. Hilarious. Rybo had to be the goon on his team. I mean, he looked as menacing as something, which we can't see because Dave cut it off. So he looked as menacing as a mofo, I think maybe is what he said.
All right, sure.
Who knows? Ryan Schmeyen.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought I cropped that properly. I'll try better next time.
We got another letter. This is crazy. International flavor here. This is from Lucas G94. Hey, I'm French, and I wanted to say thank you so much for the Winnipeggers. It's helping me a lot. You are the best. They really?
I'm sorry? You cut out.
Still maybe?
Yeah.
You're actually frozen now.
Yeah, you froze. we'll take over the show. Oh, finally, Ryan, we have our moment.
Oh, jeez. Thank
He
God.
finally froze. So anyway, Ryan, what's going on?
Am I back?
He's back. But that was so nice to hear from a French person. It just proves that we're for everybody in the world, no matter what language you speak. Maybe he was in Quebec. Maybe he was in France. We don't know. We don't judge people, but it's just nice that we're for Earth. The Earthlings love this show, and people of Earth really love this show.
We appreciate
so far,
all.
but
Go ahead.
I think the corporation might even be trying to branch out even beyond the Earth. But I mean, for now, we'll just go for the Earth, and we'll just.
The really great news, guys, and this is so cool. Talked to Barry Boobs this week, and the corporation, they're getting close. They're getting really close. They have actually put some numbers down.
Whoa.
You didn't hear from me. Don't say, hey, Chris said, don't go on the news.
We won't tell anybody about what you just said.
Don't go on, the CalgarySun.com and say, hey, Jericho said this, because I'm not speaking out of school because the word is kind of out there, but it's just not official yet.
Wow. Yeah.
Numbers have been discussed from the corporation.
I wonder what we buy a new house, cars, automobiles,
both.
Oh, God.
Both. So thanks to the corporation for that. And listen, we are waiting for Beta Brett. And there's actually some talk about the bald guy from the corporation coming on the Winnipeggers. Did I just blow it? Did I blow
that big mogul? All right. Well, he's welcome anytime. You come in.
We also have a request for a guest. The Snatch, Don Callis, has been begging me to come on the Winnipeggers. I said we really don't have guests on the show, but maybe we can fit him into maybe introing something. I mean, we might listen to Little Birdie, although this might have aired afterwards, depending on where you're watching. For the next live show, maybe we'll get Don to introduce us.
That'd be cool. Yeah,
that could work, right?
Yeah, that could work.
Yeah. Great advertiser this week. We're really, really happy about this one. One of the greatest restaurants in Winnipeg. Chi-Chi's is on board. And we'll discuss.
Come with the Chi-Chi's. Chimichangas are special. Sour cream guacamole, eh? You come have a margarita. You come over to the Chi-Chi's at the Polo Park before the Winnipeg game. Come on down to the Chi-Chi's.
Sounds like it's from the Playboy model.
I think that deserves a replay.
Come with the Chi-Chi's. Chimichangas are special. Sour cream guacamole, eh? You come have a margarita. You come over to the Chi-Chi's at the Polo Park before the Winnipeg game. Come on down to the Chi-Chi's.
Oh, man.
Chi-Chi's is a squirrel. What the hell is that?
That sounded like
squirrel.
That sounded like Cheech Marin and it was the movie with the Tarantino Robert Rodriguez from Dusk Till Dawn.
Right.
We got the big pussy, black pussy, white pussy, brown pussy, big pussy, small pussy. We got all the pussy you can eat. Chi-Chi's, though, if any of us ever actually had a job there, because Chi-Chi's and Safeway were the two top-notch jobs to have in high school. Dave worked at Safeway. Yeah. Lon, our friend Lon, and Wallace and Al Hoffick, they worked at Chi-Chi's, which was the place to be. They even did the post-Winnipeg Jets show there because my dad was always part of it. There you go. Winnipeg Jets right there. So if you could get a gig at Chi-Chi's, you were really top of the cock of the walk, so to speak.
they promoted people. I was a bagger at Safeway for 10 years. They were really good to people at Chi-Chi's. Yeah. And you're right. And that was the place after the Jets game. And Gretzky would go there as a young, arrogant star. What an arrogant star he was when he was young, wasn't he? He's been banned, hasn't he?
Well, he's an arrogant prick now.
Right.
Because he actually, as we've discussed, has been banned from the Winnipeggers. If you want to check that out, you want their proof. You guys looking for the proofs in the pudding, the proofs in the graphic right there. Banned from the Winnipeggers. Willie Tyre and Lester, fake Jason Voorhees, Hannah Ann Sluice, Golden Earring, Mr. Lindell, and look at this guy, Wayne Gretzky, right there.
Back in the Chi-Chi's days. He'd roll in like that and say, "Give me some Chi-Chi's food, give me some Taco Supremo." He'd probably just let his wind off in there. Which, if you say letting your wind off, you're really dating yourself. You might be from the 20s.
I remember when Gretzky came in with Lester, not Willie Tyler and just Gretzky and Lester came in. They left a mess in the bathroom. You guys didn't want to do it. My dad told me
he stole Lester just like he stole the last hockey puck, didn't he? When the Kings played the Jets in the last regular season game.
He didn't pay his bill either. Just like he didn't text me back, which is why he got on the banned list. Got so hot shot. Not so hot shot anymore.
Oh, I love it.
Wow. But speaking of great guests, awesome. We really had a reconciliation with random Playboy model.
Yeah.
Amazing person. Didn't understand a fucking word she said, but we think that point should be clear. But we're talking about wrestling. Our earliest memories of wrestling in Winnipeg, wrestling was huge. And so here to kind of intro us is the greatest ring announcer in history, Michael Buffer.
Hi, Michael Buffer here with the main event. Ladies and gentlemen, presenting at this time, the Winnipeggers comedy troupe featuring Spivak, Rybo, and Irvas. Tonight, we're going to hear Dave's rants, read fan mail, find out who's banned, and drink vodka with the family. We are ready to rumble!
There you go.
Oh, that's perfect. I love
that was a good cameo.
That was great. See, there's somebody that puts real artist, puts energy into his work. Yeah.
So I know Michael. He's actually announced some of my matches. He announced my final dance on Dancing with the Stars. So he copyrighted Let's Get Ready to Rumble.
Sure.
Anytime you hear that on anything, he's making money.
Wow.
Anytime somebody says it, if we said it right now, don't say it because we'd have to pay him money.
Can't afford it.
Did you run this by the corporation yet? Because we got to be careful. We got to be real.
We got to be careful with the corporation, especially that bald guy from the corporation. We don't know where he's at. Yeah. But that was a good cameo. He said our names right very well. And obviously, here's the thing. How many times does Michael Buffer get asked, "Hey man, can you say let's get ready to rumble?" He actually said it not with as much gusto as if he was, doing a Tyson fight, but he puts a little bit of stink on it. So thank you, Michael Buffer, for a great cameo.
Yeah, thank you very much. It was very awesome. Kind. It was very nice.
That was my favorite one since George Clinton, where he showed us his entire backyard.
George's was the best because we needed a time filler. It went on for half an hour.
Especially since I pulled an edit and then fucking played the wrong one anyways. It took me an hour to make this edit and I still fucked it up. So anyway, we are going to be talking today about pro wrestling, which I do. But when you grew up in Winnipeg in the 70s, like we all did, and early 80s, AWA Wrestling was like super popular. Just like the Jets were, Star Wars, Kiss, whatever was kind of the trope of the 70s. But there was always a real connection with wrestling in Winnipeg. So I think that's one of the reasons why, like I always say, Winnipeg is the wrestling capital of Canada of all time. Roddy Piper, Chris Jericho, Kenny Omega, and Don Callis, which are four legit movers and shakers that changed the history of the business, all came from Winnipeg, which is crazy, but it's not so much when you know the background of our city. Would you agree with that, Rybo, that Winnipeg is a wrestling city?
I don't really know anything about wrestling.
No, but hold on, you don't, but you do know Winnipeg, right?
Yeah, no, it was always, I remember It was always kind of like there was always wrestling in parking lots and stuff like that. I remember going over to my grandma's house and it was always on TV. And, you
Right.
you'd have like the Iron Sheik would be on or someone like that. And my grandma would just be yelling at the TV and stuff. It's like, I don't know if people still do that when they watch wrestling now, but I know back in the day, you used to get people really riled up. I know people still get riled up, but I don't know if they yell at their TV and expect the person on the other side of the TV to hear them. Like they used to back in the 70s and 80s. They're like, oh, this guy's such a jerk. Look at this. Why'd you, yelling at him and stuff like that.
It was very fresh, I think, at the time because it went from maybe the early days of Gene Kaninsky or
that's
early days of what being a little bit more wrestling to like a little bit more ribbing each other, roasting each other, and cutting promos and all that kind of fun stuff. I mean, I remember it being huge in the 80s. The old Winnipeg Arena, I mean, it was just packed like it was a full Jets game or a rock concert.
Yes.
And I think AWA, and I don't really know, but I think it might have come maybe from Minneapolis. Is that possible? Or did the wrestlers just come back and forth from that city to Winnipeg a lot? As I'm pretty sure there was some kind of connection there. And there was just such great characters. I mean, you want me to get into it? I can get into it. We're talking about Kaninsky. Remember the Vern Gagne and Greg Gagne, the son,
right?
With Jumpin' Jimmy Bronzell, the High Flyers. They were the greatest team. Like they would get up there, and you would just freak out as a kid. You're like, oh yeah, the High Flyers are there, and they were just so into the crowd and waving and giving the thumbs up, and they were such great technical wrestlers. There they are there. Well, I don't remember them looking like that. But Jumping Jimmy Bronzell was a little bit skinnier, I remember, but they're packing. Those two could play water polo and they wouldn't be throwing some board shorts on. Callback.
Good job.
But those two were just phenomenal. And Greg Gagne is Vern Gagne's son, and Vern Gagne was a big, huge wrestler. I think did a little bit in the AWA. So that's really exciting. I also loved the Jerry Blackwell, the hillbilly. Oh yeah, and he would always be going against the Baron, and he was just eating
Baron,
my
who was
grits.
on the show last week, which was amazing.
Right. And he was just the consummate hillbilly. I mean, you could just smell him, right? There he is, right? Just zero ripped. He just actually
fat as fuck too. Like he was
super fat.
His black leotard that he wore was just super not even close, just fat.
It was all fat, and he also was supposed to be a strongman, or he was competing in strongman competitions in the mid-'70s, and he got hurt and then went into wrestling. So I Googled that today. I did a little bit of thinking.
Oh, he was a strongman.
Yeah, he was. And you could see that. You could see this guy pulling a bunch of logs or a train hooked up to a belt.
Giant arms. I mean, look at the size of his fucking arms. He's got dinner lady arms.
Hiya Edna's. Just waving in the wind. Yeah, now he was probably a real tough guy. If he's still alive, we apologize, Jerry. Don't come after us.
No, I think he died like 30 years ago.
Oh, but yeah, real heel. Just never nice. The crowd just hated him. And back then, at the old barn, people were just throwing beers at them and everything as they walked down there.
So I remember going, because I got into it, because once again, like Rybo said, my grandma was super into it too. So I remember in the 70s, because she died, I think in 77 or 78. So I specifically remember watching with her, and she loved the good guys and hated the bad guys. She hated Jesse the Body Ventura. And Jesse the Body had like this jewel in his chin, and he was super he was a great heel. And I thought he was awesome. But I could never tell my grandma that because I didn't want to, disrespect my grandma or make her mad. So, but yeah, grandma, he's a jerk. But I'm like, he's awesome. I love this guy.
Yeah, right.
So we used to start going to the matches in AWA because they used to come every month or every 6 weeks or whatever. I never missed a show except for one time. And that was because I got tickets to see the man they call Reveen.
Oh, my God. The hypnotist in Fargo.
Yes. Wow. But he came to Winnipeg. So Reveen was like this local Winnipeg, whatever, hypnotist, Canadian hypnotist. And it'd be the man they call Reveen. And I was like, I can't wait to see the man they call Reveen. And it's got to be the man they call, not just Reveen, it's the man they call Reveen. Right. Yeah. And I remember I was heartbroken because I got tickets for the man they call Reveen. And the same night, like 2 weeks later, they announced AWA was coming. And I was fucking so mad. because I wanted to go to AWA. But my mom was like, "You're going to the man they call Reveen." So my dad went to the AWA with my Auntie Joan and my Auntie Peggy. And I remember being on a payphone, either calling them. So I was like, "What happened? Who won? What was the card?" And my mom was like, "Seriously? Like, you can't miss one." I'm like, "This is AWA. I love the man they call Reveen, but this is next level shit."
What is a kid going to the man they call Reveen? You need to quit smoking or get off drugs? He was a hypnotist.
I just remember he made a bunch of people like pretend they were dogs or something.
Oh, the entertainment value. He'd have five guys barking like dogs. He had a real James Brolin look to him or something too, or a magician.
He did, like a big fucking pompadour and all that sort of stuff. No, he was James Brolin combined with Wolfman Jack.
Right, good call. Yeah.
Right. So, Rybo, did you ever go to a wrestling show at the Winnipeg Arena?
I don't know anything about wrestling. No,
well, you said that already, but did you ever go?
I went to see you.
Oh,
yeah. So I went to.
But
see
you never got tickets like Fezork got you a ticket and you went along just to hang out or what?
No, Fezork and Fortecedar never went there with Buddy. No, I mean, I think the first time I ever really saw wrestling was probably at Club Taboo, which was you wrestling there.
And what were your memories of that?
I remember your mom was there. I remember there was some. I remember you. I'm pretty sure you cut your forehead on that one. One of those. There's some blood. It was
a little blood tea.
I remember drinking a lot and just yelling. And I mean, I think it was funny because the crowd just, it's small shows, the crowd just gets involved and you're actually literally become part of the fight. Just like Georgie's and you were thrown out of the ring and Bulldog Bob Brown was about to hit you with a chair and our friend Ian Henderson got up and he's like, "Hey, that's my buddy, my friend."
Yeah, that was the funniest thing is when Chris became a wrestler and I remember going to that and it's like all of us at 18 or 19 years old drinking and then just getting involved in the fights. Yeah. It's like, what are we doing? We're like the worst friends ever.
It's like normally it's free.
Oh,
but,
nice.
We paid for that and then we got involved in the fights and that's how she'd go.
Just a quick segue. Reveen. I didn't know his name was Peter Reveen. Wow, Peter. Total Wolfman Jack right there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the best part was with those Club Taboo shows was this was the first time like I moved away to Calgary to find my fame and fortune. And then I get booked in Winnipeg, which is a huge deal because like I'm going home. This is going to be crazy. So the first one was Club Taboo, which was a big, like a nightclub. And it looked cool. Like there was some ambiance to it. There was like a 2 floors. And there was probably only, 200 people there, but at least it had some space and some size to it. And that's where all you guys came to see me wrestling the first time. And my mom was there and my dad was there. And my dad was trying to fight Bulldog Bob Brown and Ian Henderson. And I remember telling my dad, I was like, "Dad, you can't fucking do that, man." Like, what are you doing?
Like, he drove me here.
Yeah, I was like, "Dad, come on. We went to the show 15 times over the last 10 years. Stay out of it, man. I'm going to ban you." Ted Irvin almost got banned from the Chris Jericho early years, right? So then I'm driving down Portage Avenue, and I look to my right as I'm going back to my house. And I see Georgie's. Has a big sign that says, Monday, peelers, Tuesday, Uzi, Wednesday, wrestling. And I'm like, who's the fucking loser that's going to be wrestling at Georgie's? Then I realized, oh my gosh, I have a match on Wednesday. I remember calling like, "Where are we wrestling?" "Someplace called Georgie's." I'm like, fuck. Are you kidding me? I'm supposed to come back to show off my fame and fortune, if I was Biff Bifford, fortune, and I'm wrestling at the bar that I used to drink 35-cent draft at 6 months earlier. Fuck, 3 months earlier.
Right.
I can't do this. So we did it. I put my head through the roof because the ceiling was so low, and that's where Ian got with Bulldog Bob Brown. We changed in the parking lot. Just terrible.
It was smaller ring and stuff too, right? Like
it was an 8 foot by 8 foot by 8 foot ring.
Yeah,
so
I don't think it was an experienced venue. I think that was one of the first wrestling shows they had. Even
Yeah,
Probably the last one too.
yeah. And in between matches, there's a peeler comes out, a stripper comes out and does her floor routine. So then the next tour, same thing happens again. I'm like, okay, crazy bar. This is terrible. But the next tour, guess where the show was? At the Winnipeggers alumni.
The
At the Ville.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Nice.
So I literally said,
Hard no.
I said to the promoter, Tony Condello, keep this in mind. I have like 9 matches. I'm 19 years old. And I tell the promoter, I'm not wrestling there. Can you imagine some promoter's been doing this for 30 years that has probably struck up a good deal with the Ville?
Yeah.
Have wrestling. And some little shit says I'm not going to wrestle there. But I got away with it.
Yeah, look at you now. I mean, you did it, so hell with him. But that's
there's a saying that the most dangerous man in the room is the guy who doesn't care. And I was like, I don't give a shit. I'm not wrestling the fucking Ville. I'm not doing it. Take your clothes off. Like, we did a whole show about this place called the Ville. I'm not wrestling there.
right.
You know?
Oh.
So AWA was the thing. We used to go there all the time. And I remember, do you guys remember this guy called Gino Januzzi?
Oh yeah.
I don't remember that. Who was that?
And I was good friends with his brother Peter Januzzi, but his dad was the wrestler, the Roman Gladiator.
He was actually a wrestler?
His dad.
I just remember he was huge. He had big arms.
Yeah.
He was the Roman Gladiator?
Well, his dad, his dad was a Roman Gladiator. I don't know if you even heard of him, but
I did not. His son, Gino Januzzi's son, now plays for like the Washington Capitals or some shit.
Oh, wow.
I did hear that.
But
Yeah.
we used to go together to see this. And I remember, like, when you find out that wrestling might not be real, right? I remember we watched this guy give a guy a backdrop where you throw him off the ropes and you push him up in the air. And the guy goes to his partner, holy fuck, did you see how high that guy went? And we're just he's talking to his partner. He's not like you start to figure out kind of the things. But here's the one that was really funny. So John Ferguson.
Oh, no kidding.
General manager of the Winnipeg Jets. He ends up being the special referee for Rick Martel versus like Boris Zukov.
Right.
In a cage match. And the place was sold out, and they're all chanting for Ferguson, and they just all love John Ferguson. It's like, this is so Winnipeg.
Yeah.
Only in this city could John Ferguson get this reaction.
When Ferguson was managing the Jets and the Jets were bombing out, like losing 12 in a row and shit, he would throw his drinks and the food he was eating just from the press box, like from way up in the rafters coming down on the ice. He was crazy. So I remember hearing about that where he did referee that particular match because it was always in the paper. The AWA was a huge thing.
Huge.
And I was in grade 6. I was a patrol, which, I think everybody knows what that is. You kind of help people cross the street. And I used to see Hulk Hogan, when he was in Winnipeg at AWA, I guess he would rent a house or something in Winnipeg on a Coleridge or something. He'd be driving in a white Jaguar. Yeah.
Hogan rented a house on Coleridge?
Well, either he had a look-alike or it was him. It looked like him. I think he lived on Assiniboine Avenue for a short time. And a lot of the wrestlers were just around. They were around Winnipeg a lot. It was a big deal. Maybe that's something that there was a guy that looked like him. A few strands of bleach blonde hair and really tanned. Wearing yellow trunks, driving in a Jaguar.
Go ahead.
Oh yeah, and it was just such a special thing. As kids, I thought it was just huge, and I didn't think it was fake. At first, it wasn't until you got a little bit older. You'd see a guy like Mad Dog Bachon, who was like, he's a short, stocky guy. He looked like he would just bite and chew your flesh off. And I was, and you know what?
And he would say that in his promos, I'm going to bite and chew your flesh off.
Yeah, he was a tough guy. And I remember my dad used to go to the Pemi on Pembina Highway and have some beers with some of the guys after playing volleyball. And some of these guys would come down after the matches. And he says, this Mad Dog's actually a really nice guy. And I'm like, you talked to Mad Dog Vachon? Like, I couldn't believe it. But look at him. Oh, my goodness.
He looks like a nice guy.
I wonder if he had his teeth made like that just for the wrestling.
Somehow I don't think so.
Yeah.
One last story about AWA is I remember going there and there was gorgeous Jimmy Garvin, not to be confused with gorgeous George Reveen. Call back. And he had a valet called Precious. And typical just idiot guys, as soon as she came out, they'd all start chanting, "Show your tits, show your tits." And I'm like, I don't know, 10, 11. And I remember that my dad is gonna be so mad at these guys. And I remember like he didn't say anything, and like everyone's chanting "Show your tits." I'm super embarrassed, and I want to chant it as well. And he goes like, I look at him and he's like, "That's show business, Chris. Don't worry about it. It's okay if it's show business."
Oh, man.
My dad used to yell at people at the Winnipeg Jets games if someone swore. My dad would go, "I got a kid here."
That's funny.
So let's talk about the times when you guys came to see me wrestle, because most of the times you just stay in the car and drink.
Those days are a fog, but that's true. The Toronto days when you were with WWE for the first time, and we would go to Toronto and meet up with Chris and he'd give us tickets to the matches, but we were all into the party. After wrestling, we'd go to all the clubs and everything. And we'd end up, I remember one time you, Ryan, and I, and Russ just sitting in his old Ford Explorer. It's minus 35 Celsius in Toronto. And we're just sipping our drinks, and we're like, well, we'll get in eventually. And Russ is like, well, you got to at least be there for his match. We're like, well, yeah, he said he's not on until like the 3/4 mark, because it's a 3-hour event, isn't it? Like, it's a long time to go through everybody. And we're visiting Russ too, so we're hanging out, and then we always made it in. We always made it in for the match.
You didn't.
Oh, we
You
did.
did not
We just
always make it
couldn't
in.
tell you what had happened, but
I don't think Rybo's seen me wrestle this day. It's always like, we were gonna make it, but we just it's like Spicoli, just couldn't make it on time.
but the best is Rybo is sitting in the back seat with this, and he's drinking. Like, he always has to have a weird drink, right? Everyone else can just drink straight booze. Ryan's got a brown cow or something he's drinking, which is like whatever it is, Bailey's and whatever. He spills it all over his crotch and thighs. Okay, it looks like he's crapped the front of his pants.
Yeah,
and that's it. That's the one pair of pants he brought to Toronto, and that's what he's got to wear out at the club and to try to catch the last second of Chris's match so we can wave at him and say, "Oh wow, thumbs up, great job."
That was great. That was in Oshawa, by the way, and I was the only one that actually set foot into the arena for that one. I went, I'm like, oh, okay, I'm gonna go see Chris. No one else wanted to go in there. I
took a
walked in
picture
there
with his flip phone and then saved it. That's
no
so great.
flip
I was
phones
at
even back
SummerSlam.
then.
I went to the SummerSlam. I was front row at SummerSlam. I watched.
Was that the
whole
one you
thing.
fell asleep at? Right,
I fell asleep. I was on TV.
Okay, so here's a story. This is when me and Spewy and Riot. I can't believe this. People say I should be wrestling.
John Riot, Australian friend. Yeah,
we love John Riot, great guy. Cheers to John. Hey, we haven't had a cheers the last two shows.
Cheers, yeah.
Cheers, guys. Cheers to John Riot. Cheers to the Baron, and cheers to our grandmamas. So so we're in LA. We went for a couple years in a row, and so Dave is going to SummerSlam. And this is a big deal. It's a big ticket to get in. It's hard because it's sold out in 5 minutes. And it's not only is he in, he's in the front row. I was in the main event. Never seen so many people hanging from the rafters, whatever. And somehow I asked the cat, "Can I get 2 seats?" And he puts them right in the front row.
Yeah.
When I say front row, they're right up against the
center
bear,
front. Yeah.
like this.
Yeah.
During the course of the show, Dave, because we're so fucking hungover, we could do a whole Winnipeggers, but Robert wasn't there, but whatever. And he starts falling asleep. And there was an Undertaker match. I can't remember who it was. And Vince McMahon, I was up in it's called gorilla position. We were kind of behind the stage where the kind of the control center is. And Vince sits there with his headphones on, and he's like, "Get that guy out of there. He's asleep." What the fuck? Get him out of there. And I was just like, who is this guy? Get him out of there. Why is he in the front row sleeping? I'm like,
oh yeah,
I don't know who this guy is.
I get nudged by John. He's like, "You better wake up." It's a text from Chris on my BlackBerry. He's like, "What the fuck are you doing? You're front row in SummerSlam. Millions of people are watching. Wake up. You better get into it or you're getting moved." So that it's how you just see me going like this. I have no idea who's wrestling or what was happening, but that, yeah. But I have the chair still. I mean, I have the chair.
That's actually a funny thing. It might actually lead into some kind of a rant that you may or may not have. He was angry, right? Because when you sit in the front row, you get the free chair.
Right.
It's kind of a coveted suit. It's a great idea. He's angry that now he has to carry this chair home.
It's you got to carry it around. That's not easy.
Well,
to carry
I was flying out the next day. I had to take it on the plane. I had to pay a little extra for the free chair, right? And I don't know if you're gonna be able to see this because my lighting is at me, but I'll see if I can see that. Hang on. There's a chair there. There it is, and it's actually holding my door from being broken into. So that's what I use it for. It's the.
That's the one, the orange SummerSlam logo.
And I don't live in the basement. I have carte blanche. I can go upstairs to shower too, or whatever.
You're allowed to go upstairs.
Don't judge me. But that's my security. But that's a great chair. No, I was grateful, and we did watch you occasionally, and it was great. But that was that's a true story. And I guess there was, this was on satellite, and it was all over the place. And friends of mine were
satellite.
Well, I don't know what it was called back then.
Pay-per-view.
Oh, okay.
Back then, it was 10 years ago. It was on closed circuit, satellite or something.
I have no idea, man.
Streaming digitally worldwide.
I'm not. I don't understand TV. But,
satellite.
Oh man. See, that wasn't the first time, because Dave and I also fell asleep in the front row at one of the Raw tapings, I believe. And we were right behind the announcers, and you could always see us. We were like basically at our heads like against each other, like drooling.
Was that
on each
Eli
other,
Roth? It was in front
yes,
of us.
it was.
Yeah, right.
We talked about this episodes ago with the the Maiden show, how fucked up we were.
Yeah, it was so bad. It was so bad. That's when we drove from Vegas to LA, and it was just horrible. And people were texting us saying, "You guys are all over TV," and we're like, "Oh man!"
Great.
Everyone was going nuts around us, like, just going crazy. And
Ryan and I were cheek to cheek.
Yeah,
keep it down, please. That's the equivalent when Spewy fell asleep at the Fozzy concert in the couch in the dressing room backstage, which was right behind the stage.
You can sort of see like
so loud, and he's sleeping.
Yeah, because of the night before again. We didn't sleep at all, so it was a nice love seat, a black leather love seat. I crawled up in it. I could see Rich Ward's arm, and that was it. But I was right there. I could hear it. I did doze off while you guys were playing. It wasn't your energy level. You guys were off the hook. It was just being up all night. You need
does that kind of annoy you at that sort of thing? Like, are there some things that annoy you recently?
Yeah, I've got some things. I'm always thinking of things. I don't want to take over the show or anything, but there's just a couple things that have been bothering me, and some of them are going to be pretty obvious. I can't stand this bloating thing, okay? The bloat, enough with it. Just go away. Unless you just follow the strictest diet of like ginger root and water, you're bloated. And last night I was over at my producer buddy Greg's place. We're doing some recording of the new album. September, I'm thinking. About the release. Nice. Thanks for asking.
Nice.
I ordered some. I was using Skip the Dishes, okay, but now I'm pissed off at them because they didn't send an order from 2 weeks ago, and I went on their chat line and they never answered me. I have screenshots I could show you. I won't, but I want to take over the show. But I'm really upset with Skip the Dishes. And they didn't get back to me. It's
like Uber Eats.
Yeah, it's like Uber Eats, exactly. And then finally, I sent them an email. I found out their email about 4 days later, and they said, "Sorry, we have a 48-hour where we don't credit anything," and blah blah blah. I said, "Credit? I want way more than credit. Like, I want you to come over here and buy me a new car or something. This is ridiculous, right?" So anyway, I'm pissed off at them. I'm gonna get all over the place here, but. So I started using a new one called Dash, and they've been great. They've been really nice, and I'm extra nice to them. I tip a little more, but I'll never go back to Skip the Dishes. You heard it here because of this mishap. But anyway, I'm at Greg's, and I skip the dishes. I'll have that when I get home. So I just walk. It's really convenient. It's only like 4 kilometers away type thing, right? But I drank a little too much last night, so I start strolling home. And I get home and my bag of food is outside the house, and I'm really excited. And I open it up and I ordered from Joey's. I ordered some Indian curry, okay, and they make some really nice curry. It's spicy, but that's not my normal diet. My normal diet is not anything close to that because I get the hemorrhoids. I can't eat a lot of spicy food, so I'm sitting there and I'm just eating this shit. I'm taking it in. I've had a few beers. It's disgusting, and I bloated out. Where Steph looks at me, she goes, "Hey, are you okay?" I'm like, "What?" And she goes, "Just below your chest. Look," and it's like from here out. I mean, 10 inches. of like, it's like, whoa, put a needle in me. What the hell has happened here? So I'm really getting sick of the bloating, and I had to keep it all night, and I was heavy breathing. I was like, she's like, oh my God, you're like, and I didn't weigh myself. I wouldn't go into that. I bet you I gained 15 pounds of bloat just from this. A shout out to Joey's. I still enjoyed it. So if you're giving away coupons, I shout that out to that. But that's driving me crazy. It's just getting older. All those little things where it's like I used to be able to do this, not well, mind you, and now I can't do it at all. Right? There's another.
You're one meal away from becoming a fat person.
Right. Well,
one meal.
Depending on what meal it is.
Coat your belly, Spivak.
Yeah, you gotta get doted in the stomach, you loser. I was thinking, I know I did a rant last week and we were talking about fish flies because it's the season. Well, I'm trying to get back into Manitoba. That's the world we live. Trying to get back in, if it's possible, to go to my cabin there. And we have a mice problem there. We have mice. We keep catching mice in the traps every year in the summer. It's disgusting. One time I'm out with Ryan. I had a little bit too much of this, okay? Then I ended up coming out to the cabin at maybe 5 in the morning. And I was kind of going, oh, man, I'm a little bit out of it here, right? And there's a mouse caught in one of the traps, but it's still alive. And it's got its leg in it, and it's looking at me, and it's dragging the trap around, and I don't know what to do. I'm going, oh, my God, everything just got really serious here. Like, what am I supposed to do, right? And Glenn has heard that I'm there, and he's coming by, right? And he just hears me firing off my gun. I've got a pellet. No, it looks like a real gun, but it's just a pellet gun, but it's still really powerful. It's got the cartridge and everything, right? I don't know if those are legal in Florida where you're from, Chris, but this is like a big thing where we have here. It's a pellet gun. And I'm standing up, and I'm trying to shoot the freaking mouse. I want to put it out of its misery. It's our broken, back, and it's just looking at me, and I miss the mouse like 4 or 5 times. So this thing's got 8 rounds, and I just miss it each time. I'm like, oh my God. So I take a broom handle and I took care of it. But Glenn comes over. He goes, why didn't you just like kick it into a Safeway bag and throw it outside or something? It's like, what are you doing? He goes, look at the hardwood floors. Now it is in an area that's behind my dad's chair that he eats. He won't see it, so it's fine. But it's like got these holes. So I'm not a big fan of mice. Some people are probably okay with mice. I'm just not into mice. I love it. I just go on a rant and then that's it. But yeah, and then printer ink has been bugging me. I often will do little. We did this thing for AWA tonight. I don't know if you guys were listening. Ryan didn't have any stories, but I made this, Blackwell, hillbilly, high flyers, jumping. I put them down because I want to be somewhat prepared. Well, guess what's happening? All the ink keeps going. They could put a man on the on the moon, and they can't fix a printer inkjet, right? Or fix a epididymitis, which is a problem with a testicle. It's like a strain. It's kind of like a hernia, and they still can't fix that. But they can put people on the moon, and they can invent new vaccines, but they can't take care of this kind of thing. So the inkjet thing has just been driving me crazy. You buy 2 when you go. You buy 2. You don't just buy 1. Pick up 2 because they're gonna fail you. Don't use the color setting. What do you need color for? You're gonna print out one of those shitty printer pictures, put it in a frame behind you until it gets wet and wrinkles. That's another thing bothers me. People that print out photos and use them in frames. I'll take a brass frame, please. That'd be really nice. Sorry, I didn't mean to take over the show.
Any update on your phone cords?
Yeah. I've got. I had bought an 8-pack, and I'm down to 4 now, and that was just from 2 weeks ago. We talked about that. So thanks, Apple, for making this